Think you need a fancy smoker to make mouth-watering pulled pork? Not today. I'm using the basic Weber Kettle to smoke this 8.5 pound pork butt. And I'm keeping it dead simple. No injections, no sauce, just good charcoal, some wood chunks, and our go-to Memphis style seasoning. Stick around because I'll show you how to set it up. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Greg from Burn Pit BBQ, and I'm going to be smoking this 8.5 pound pork butt. First things first, what I want to do is I like to score it on top. I know some people don't score it, but I like to do it. I just feel it allows some of that extra flavor to get through that fat cap there. Now, you can certainly trim the fat cap a little bit more if you wanted to, but I don't mind a little bit more fat for my pulled pork. So once you're done scoring it there, then you're going to get your favorite pork rub and you're going to season it on all sides. Today I'm using our Memphis style rub. Now this is a great overall rub, great on pork. Use it on ribs, you can use it on chicken, poultry. I love to use it on turkey as well, especially around Thanksgiving. But you want to make sure you get all sides of your pork butt. This is a bone-in. That flap right there, you could certainly trim that off, but because I'm just doing some pulled pork, it doesn't need to look pretty today. I'm going to be shredding all this stuff up anyways, so I'm going to leave that on there. But make sure you season all sides. Make sure you get that good flavor. Again, you could use whatever pork rub you like, and you can even keep it real simple. You can just use salt, pepper, maybe a little garlic. Make sure you get all sides there. Oh, this is already looking really good. Pork is one of my favorite things to smoke, especially, a pork shoulder is pretty forgiving. So if it's your first time or if you're just new to smoking and grilling, give it a shot. So I'm actually prepping this a day ahead of time. I'm going to be putting this in the refrigerator overnight. So I'm just going to get my saran wrap set up, and then I'm just going to wrap that pork shoulder in there and throw it in the refrigerator, because I'm going to be smoking this the next day. You certainly can just do it the day of. Give yourself maybe a little bit of time. I suggest at least a half an hour of letting that rub sit and dry marinate on there. Yep, get all that extra stuff in there. Just wrap it up real tight and stick it in the refrigerator or overnight, or as long as possible, 12, 24 hours. This will be in there about 18 hours. And then we'll get the smoker set up in the morning, because this 8.5 pounds is going to take quite a bit, maybe 6 to 8 hours of total smoke time. And after that, it's going to be nice and juicy, ready to go. So again, like I said, I'm keeping it real simple today. It's just going to be my Weber Kettle. Now this is the 8.5 pound is kind of as big as maybe I'll go on the 22-inch kettle. And I'm going to be using the snake method. I got my Kingsford charcoal there, and I'm just doing a simple 2x1 snake method, and this will probably last a good 5, maybe 6 hours depending on external temperature. And I'm gonna be using some cherry wood chunks once I get this thing going here. I really feel like the cherry is a great flavor for pork. So it's been the pork butt's been in the refrigerator for about 18 hours now, and then we're going to put it on the smoker at about 250 degrees, and we're going to let it go. And I'm going to be using my meat stick Bluetooth thermometer on this one, as well as my handy dandy, just my straight up old-fashioned, old school meat thermometer. I like to have dual thermometers going in, especially if I'm doing a longer cook. And this is the Meat Stick 4, I believe it is. This was sent to us. I had somebody send this to us to try it out and give a review. So I still got it. It works decently. I'm not too impressed with the range on it, just because I feel like when I'm outside and it's on the grill and I'm inside, that it doesn't get the best connection, even though I'm literally like 20 feet away. So I sometimes have an issue with that, but because I'm not going anywhere today and I'm going to be sticking around doing some work in the kitchen, it's going to be okay. And I'm just be putting in my additional manual thermometer because I'm going to be checking on this bad boy every hour, hour and a half, just to make sure the coals are still going okay, making sure the temp is going okay. No spritz, no injections. I'll just put a little bit of water in a pan underneath so none of those drippings catch and mess up the grill too much. But there she is. Coals are ready to go. Like I said, I'm just going to be doing a simple snake method, letting those coals catch. And I'm keeping it about 225 to 250. If it gets up to 300, that's okay. I'm kind of on a timeline here today for this one, but I'm looking forward to a nice, long, easy smoke today. Like I said, I put a pan on the bottom. I'll put a little bit of water in there, and here's a setup before I put the grate on there. You see, I got the cherry wood chunks spread out. I got the snake going, so this is gonna be a nice, easy cook. I really like the snake method on the Weber, and there she is. Put her right on there, and we're not gonna look at her for a while. All right, it's been a few hours, and I'm just checking on my temperatures. It's looking really good. It's not ready to wrap just yet. I'm looking for an internal temperature of about 160 to 170, and here we are. There it is. It came out a few hours later, so smoking maybe between 4 and 5 hours at 250, and it got up to about 160, and I pulled it. We're gonna wrap it, and then we're gonna put it back on for another, maybe 2 hours. Depending on how long it takes. I want to get that internal temperature to about 203 to 205, and I pulled it off at the 203 mark, and I let it rest for about a half hour. I was on a time crunch, so usually I let it rest for maybe about an hour, but definitely if you have as much time as possible, an hour and a half to let it rest, do that. But as you can see, it's probe tender, nice and juicy still. I didn't add any water or any juice to this pan. This was a brand new pan when I put that pork butt in there, so all those juices come from there. And let's see, moment of truth. Can we pull out the bone clean? Oh, pretty decent. Pulls off right there. So that's a good cook. You're looking for that pull. The pork is nice and juicy. Shreds really simple. And I do have some shredders as well, but just showing you how nice and moist this pork butt is. Great bark, great color on there, even after I wrapped it. Like I said, if you're new to barbecuing and grilling, grab a pork shoulder, pork butt. Really forgiving cut to try out for the first time if you're doing like a longer cut or a longer cook. And relatively inexpensive too. So nice color on there, nice smoke ring, nice bark. I'll shred that up a little bit more, but here's the taste test. It was really good. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my better cooks recently. I really enjoyed it. Everything seemed to go well. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll put the recipe below, but thanks for watching. If you're enjoying, check out some of these other videos.